Hello, I'm Steve Kay, Councilmember at Large, and I'm here today at Natasha's Bistro with Tom Martin and Arthur Sheckett. We're going to talk about a big event that's coming up shortly in our community, Bob, Best of the Bluegrass, and a little bit more about the Lexington Area Music Association. So I'm going to start by asking Tom, if you will, just tell us a little bit about this event that's coming up.
Well, Bob, or Best of Bluegrass, is an event of the Lexington Area Music Alliance, or L.A.M.A, as we call it. And our idea, which began last year, was to begin to call attention to Lexington and to Central Kentucky as a true home place of bluegrass music, as we all know it is. And it also dawned on us that we already have a grandfather of bluegrass festivals going on here every year at the Kentucky Horse Park, the Festival of the Bluegrass. So why not complement that and actually use it right on its coattails to bring more traffic into downtown Lexington, to create music in downtown Lexington, and hopefully to create a scene, or recreate, I should say, to recreate a bluegrass scene here, maybe similar to the one that we once had when the likes of J.D. Crowe and Bela Fleck and Sam Bush and all of them held forth at the Holiday Inn North. Wouldn't it be great to have that back here again?
Yeah, some of us date ourselves, but I actually, when I was first in Lexington, I saw Ricky Skaggs and with J.D. and Rice, what's his Tony Rice. Yeah, it was an incredible moment, and you know, and there it was out at the Holiday Inn. So and Arthur, your involvement?
Well, you know, this came about really, one of the ideas of Bob is as a grassroots festival, growing it from the ground up. A lot of people during the WEG games really loved the Spotlight Music Festival. That was, of course, a huge undertaking, huge cost.
And people really
loved coming downtown for free music. So our thought was to build a festival based on the infrastructure that exists, build a low-cost festival, leveraging existing infrastructure, not spend a lot of money, but use the energy and infrastructure that exists in Lexington to build a festival from the ground up, use volunteer time. And so we had the first one last year in June, right before the Festival of Bluegrass, and we're doing it again this year, June 9th through 12th.
I was just about to ask, June 9th through 12th.
That's right. And then
all downtown?
That's mostly downtown, extending a little out to Willie's and Al's Bar. So we're spreading out a little bit from downtown, but basically close to the inner core. And we're hoping that with the cooperation this year of Lextran, that we'll also get some of the folks camping out there in anticipation of the Festival of Bluegrass to come downtown and enjoy free bluegrass music this year.
Okay, so it's Lextran. You're working with Lextran?
We are.
They're going to run buses like they did out to the WEG games?
That's right, in the evenings.
Great.
Bob, yeah, so they've really been terrific. Rocky and his team have been really wonderful in working with us on working it out so we can really maximize exposure.
Okay. You know, we had a structure that was right under our noses that we didn't even really realize until we put two and two together. And that was that on Monday, you have the Wood Songs Old Time Radio Hour at the Lyric. On Tuesday, we have Southland Jamboree, which is bluegrass music happening out on Southland. On Wednesday, Red Barn Radio, which is bluegrass and mountain music. And then Thursday Night Live on Thursday. So there were the basics. And then we brought in other venues like Natasha's, where we launch it, to complement what's already going on with those existing assets, and it's worked out nicely.
Okay, so now place all of that in the context of the L.A.M.A, Lexington Area Music Association. What is it? How is it involved? What else does it do?
It's a 501c6, which is a trade organization, and our mission is to create a go-to organization for all forms of music production, performance, and education in the Lexington area. We look at how other cities have developed their music scenes and sustained them over time. And in almost all cases, Memphis, Seattle, Gainesville, Florida, Austin, Texas, there was some galvanizing organization that served as a communications nexus, which is critical, as an organization that organized events and meetings where people could trade ideas and thoughts and needs, and that's what it's been. We've taken a very cautious step into event planning because it's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
And Best of Bluegrass for Bob is our first effort at that.
Okay. And I think it's important to say that involved in Bob are a whole host of other people and partners that are really the volunteering time, in-kind, energy, creativity, and it's really been a wonderful undertaking from that point of view, and seeing people, as Roy Cornett from the Festival of Bluegrass says, leave their egos at the door and just come together to develop this great event for the city of Lexington.
Okay, and you, besides, let me identify you as a part owner of Natasha's.
That's
in addition,
correct.
You're involved with...
I'm one of the officers of the Lexington Area Music Alliance of L.A.M.A.
Okay.
So we've been involved for several years now in trying to promote Lexington as a music place.
Okay.
And that's really what it's all about.
And you know, on a scale of 1 to 100, is Lexington a music place? How's that going? What have you done? What's been good? What's been hard?
I think what's been good is I think there's tremendous creativity and talent here. Lexington does not lack for talent and creative energy. That's not our issue. I would say we're about 30% there. We still have a tremendous way to go in terms of developing audience, in terms of keeping venues busy, keeping them audience filled, to match the level of talent and creativity and desire on part of the music community. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I don't think people realize it, but we have talent here to do everything you need to do to produce a high quality album. For example, one producer and studio owner that I've worked with, Dwayne Lundy, Shangri-La Productions, told me recently that he's produced about 75 plus albums now. Never once has he had to go outside of Lexington to find studio musicians to make it happen. And I think that's pretty telling.
Yeah, so as a consumer, what I know is that I can come to Natasha's, I can go to other places where what I'm seeing is world-class music.
Absolutely.
In a very intimate setting. In fact, I've often sat right in front of the stage, and just it's remarkable what we have here.
It is amazing, and part of what our job with the Lexington Area Music Alliance is getting the word out on how much great music talent we have natively here, and also how much talent comes into town to visit us and be on our stages and share their work with us.
And we're having interesting conversations about issues such as hours of presentation. We're an aging demographic. Many people are working parents, young parents, and late hours don't work for them. However, we're a college town, and we have a huge college presence here. Late hours work for them.
Right. So
how do you reconcile the two and make it work for everybody? It's difficult. It's not a problem that's been solved by any means yet. There also is the short of unionizing musicians, a need to communicate the compensation issues. Excuse me. I think that there is not a full appreciation of what's involved in being a working musician. Playing is fun. Everybody enjoys getting up on stage and playing. It's all about what you do beforehand and afterwards, which is a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of rehearsal, a lot of planning and organization. All goes into that one show.
Okay, so let's go, before we wrap up, back to the event. Do we know yet any of the acts that will be a part of that? And we want to remind people again, the dates are...
It's Monday starts Monday, June 9th, and Bob ends, the Best of Bluegrass ends on Thursday, June 12th, and leads right into the Festival of the Bluegrass, which also begins the night of June 12th and continues through Saturday of that weekend.
And acts?
Acts, we have an incredible number of acts booked already. Our schedule is almost complete. We have huge acts like the Lonesome River Band coming in, Town Mountain. They're kicking off here, Town Mountain and Lonesome River Band on Monday night. We have Jim Lauderdale, who's a really fine, famous singer-songwriter. We have the biggest act we have coming is on Wednesday night, Steep Canyon Rangers. And people probably know them most popularly from their recent tour as the accompanying band for Steve Martin's tour, banjo tour. And so, and then we have Dale Ann Bradley, and we're filling in around that with a bunch of wonderful local talent and bands that are going to be playing in our venues, and we have about 8 to 9 venues that are participating in this.
Okay. Well, it sounds more than exciting. It sounds terrific. It has the potential to become one of those big events that attracts people from all over the country. I presume it'll grow as people get to know more about it.
And the participation of the Urban Council is critical in helping support this, because all the shows are going to be free this year. No tickets, no price.
Oh, really?
For admission. That's the purpose of the sponsorship.
Everything's wide open to the public.
Say that again.
All the shows.
All free, wherever all these venues, where typically people have to pay covers, 15,
That's
20.
correct. All free. All free.
And that's why we went out and sought sponsorship, including what we received from the Urban County Council, from Kentucky Eagle, Hybrid Springwater, Dupree Mutual Funds, and a few others that are Cornet, IMS, a few others that are considering it now. But it's been remarkable to see how willingly everybody has stepped up to this, plus KET, WEKU, WUKY, all will be offering live or streamed coverage of this in one way or another. And another important component that came to the table this time was Visit Lex, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, which brought a huge advertising package to the table that allows us to do exactly what you were saying, get the word out regionally.
Okay, so a big community effort, and I encourage all our viewers to remember that Bob, Best of the Bluegrass, come out, enjoy the music, support our local musicians, and have a good time. And thank you for watching today.